We're tackling all your questions about how and when to talk to your kids about the birds and the bees.
If they're old enough to ask, that's when you can volunteer, partial truths to it.
And touching base with Married at First Sight alum Jamie Otis.
Honestly, I'm just trying my best as a white privileged woman to educate my kids and to know that, whether your friend has really dark skin or really light skin, it's their heart that matters.
Plus, is it okay to diet while pregnant? Find out what the celebs are doing.
My motherly instincts are telling me absolutely no, do not do that.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Moms Like Us. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here, joined with Brianne Mans from Stroller in the City, and welcome to our very first episode of Us Weekly's Moms Like Us. Brianne, how are you doing?
Hi everyone, good. I'm doing great.
Thanks so excited. I'm so excited to be doing this with you because every week we are going to be bringing you the latest in celebrity news, celebrity interviews, mom tips that we've learned. I mean, we have so much to cover, so much to get to, and I'm so excited to be doing this with you.
Yes, me too. I'm super, super excited.
So before we get started, before we get into all the celebrity news, I want to get to know you a little bit better. And I want to tell the viewers that, I live in the New Jersey suburbs with my 1-year-old daughter and my husband, but I know that you live in Manhattan with your kids, right?
Yes, I'm the complete opposite of what you're doing right now. So I live in Battery Park City and I have 3 kids, ages 6, 8, and 11. And yes, we're here in New York City apartment. I am with my husband and we just got a new pup during quarantine. So it's all of us here.
Wow. How has that been going? I mean, homeschooling, new puppy, chaos.
It's been a lot. It's chaos. It's chaos.
Are you done with homeschooling now or is everything,
No, we actually have 2 more weeks left. My son is done. He is in private school, so he is done officially as of last Friday. So that's been great. So 1 down, 2 more to go. And today is considered field day in their school. So I was told to buy a list of about 30 items for them to do in the apartment, but I think we'll just take it outside and we'll just have a nice day out.
Good. At that point, you're like, well, whatever. We have 2 more weeks to go. I'm done.
Yes, I'm officially done. I'm officially done.
You need a celebration after this as well.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
All right. So let's kick it off with our celeb baby news of the week because we actually have a lot. So Us Weekly exclusively broke the news that Stassi Schroeder and Bo Clark are expecting their first baby. Now, This news comes right after she was fired from Vanderpump Rules for past racist comments and actions that she made. Bravo cut ties with her after former server Faith Stowers revealed that Kristen Dowdy and Stassi both reported her to the police for a crime that she did not commit in 2018. So there's a lot of layers here. And now she has a baby added into the mix. And, pregnancy and stress doesn't really go too well together.
Definitely not. And I'm sure this is definitely, this is like a weight, laying on her right now that she's pregnant, but she does have to pay for her actions. So for something like this, I don't know how too bad I feel for her right now.
Right. No, totally. You do feel bad that she's pregnant during this time because, stress isn't so great for a baby.
For sure.
Yeah, I know, but it's a lot for her to go through. And like you said, you don't really feel bad when somebody has made these remarks in the past and you kind of have to pay for your actions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel like now it's like everything is coming out and, people are just paying the price now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
But I am shocked that she is pregnant. I will tell you that.
I am shocked that she is pregnant. We actually spoke to her a couple months ago before, all this happened. And she said that she and her fiance weren't really going to wait for their wedding. They wanted to have a baby. This is something that she's wanted for a long time. So now that, she can, learn from her mistakes and focus on her pregnancy.
Exactly.
Okay. So next up, Brianna Culberson is pregnant. Now, she is expecting her 3rd baby with her husband, Ryan, and he showed off her 15-week baby bump. And she's following a keto pregnancy. So let's take a look at this photo. You can barely see any bump. And he captioned the photo, still waiting on the baby bump to really pop out. But with her staying keto, who knows how long it'll take for that to really show. Now, for those who don't know who Brianna is, she is the daughter of Vicki Gunvalson, OG Real Housewife of OC. So let's talk about this diet. Obviously, you and I are not doctors, and you should consult your doctor if you want to diet during your pregnancy. But in my opinion, I probably want to do a keto diet while I'm pregnant.
No, definitely not. My motherly instincts are telling me absolutely no, do not do that. I cannot see how a high fat diet and low carb diet works for being pregnant. I think you should be surrounded with all the nutrients and have everything, of course, eating healthy and eating in moderation when you're pregnant, but following a diet, I don't agree.
No, not at all. All right, let's move on to Nikki and Brie Bella. I don't know if you've been following their pregnancy. They're both about to pop like a week and a half apart, which is crazy. They have the twin tuition while they're pregnant. So they want to actually keep their cameras rolling during the birth of their babies for their reality show. So take a look at this.
As of now, only Artem can be in there, so Artem would have to film. But we're praying that by the time I deliver that Brie, because I really want Brie in there with me. And I'm hoping that we could bring a total Bella's producer so Brie and Artem can just be in the moment with me and not worry about filming.
Right.
So it's just, we have to follow the state rules, and all due to COVID-19. So in a perfect world for me, I would have our total Bella's producer in there filming and have my sister and Artem by my side and just introduce our baby to the world.
So what would you do? Would you invite cameras in to your pregnancy, to your birth?
You know, I have like mixed views on this because we did not take cameras into my births for any of the three. Of course, we have photos. I kind of think it is something special that you'll always have. And part of me regrets that too, of not having like film the actual birth, like when it happened. So I'm kind of with them on this one.
Yeah. I am too. When I gave birth, they told me that I wasn't allowed to film. I could only take pictures. So
yeah, I feel like I probably was told the same thing, but nowadays it's totally different.
Right.
But I think it's so nice to have something like that you'll cherish with your child and your husband forever. I mean, you know, would I put it out there? Obviously not, I'm not on the show, but I just think it's something nice to have. And I think it's like a wonderful gift. So I think I say keep the cameras rolling for sure.
Oh, definitely. And people have been following along with their journey for, you know, so long, so many years. You know, Nikki has wanted to have a baby since she was in a relationship with John Cena. So she's really wanted this for a really long time, and to kind of see it come full circle. So I think fans would really enjoy it.
Totally.
Yeah. So speaking of fans, they were super excited for Iggy Azalea because she announced to everybody, we were not expecting this, that she actually welcomed a baby boy. And she said on Instagram that she wanted to keep his life private, but wanted to make it very clear that he is no secret and that she loves him beyond words. So, but she isn't the first celebrity to really keep baby a secret. I feel like this happens all the time. We saw it with Jessica Chastain, Cameron Diaz, Blake Lively, even Mendez is super secret about her kids. So, I mean, would you keep your baby news private if you were a celebrity?
I feel like yes. I feel like if I were, you kind of want to take them away from all the spotlight and the cameras in their face, and you kind of want them to live a normal life too. So I totally agree with them on that. And it's an opinion and it's their decision, and I totally respect it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you hear from celebrities so many times saying, you know, these kids didn't choose this life, so that's not why I'm gonna push them into the public eye. If they choose to do so later on, that's totally on them.
Exactly.
But you know, for right now, I'm gonna keep as much private as I can.
Yeah, totally respect it for sure.
I mean, I still really want to see Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling's kids because I'm sure they're beautiful. So
yeah, of course. I mean, you share like one picture.
Photos,
I think you can share just one picture. And
just one, please. Yeah. Just satisfy us, please. Especially during this quarantine, I need something to lift my spirits a little bit.
Totally. Just one.
Just one. So another mom we are absolutely loving this week is Married at First Sight alum Jamie Otis. We had a chance to actually sit down with her, and she talked all about tackling racism with her daughter. So let's take a look at this.
Well, of course, you know what's going on. I'm sure you're well aware of the Black Lives Matter movement. And, you know, this is going to sound, and I'll just say it, like so ignorant of myself. Like I wasn't exposed to racism growing up. I mean, really at all. There was only a couple of Black kids in my school, like a handful at most. And I never really saw them being picked on or anything. I'm sure that they were. Just because I didn't see it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. But I just really wasn't, I never saw racism until I saw George Floyd and what happened with him. I mean, my eyes were not open to it for whatever reason. And I'll just say that I'll just like call it out. Like I'm a white privileged woman that like just didn't see it. And I think it's really, really important that we as white women raising our white children help them realize that, you should see someone for all their beauty, the dark skin tone, the light skin tone, whatever skin tone. It's really like every life really does matter. And if you can't say that until you believe and you actively help Black lives and help their community and know that they matter. And so for me, buying her a Black baby doll, quite honestly, I like took a whole video of her opening it because I was curious if she was even gonna say, why is it Black? Or why does it not look like me? Or, I mean, she literally saw none of that. And so when they say that racism is taught and it's not something that you're born into, it is so true. And so honestly, I'm just trying my best as a white privileged woman to educate my kids and to know that, whether your friend has really dark skin or really light skin, it's their heart that matters. And that's the same for, adults and everybody alike.
What is one thing about motherhood that you wish you knew before you had your babies?
Oh my goodness. Not just because I am here with a Lyme baby probiotic, but truly, like, I wish I knew of a solution to help calm my baby in the midst of his fussiness. And like, I didn't have to deal with colickiness, thank God. But oh my goodness, if you have a baby who's colicky, definitely, I think that I wish that I knew what would help soothe my baby. Like, I think any mom who's frantic in that moment is begging for some answer. And so I just wanted, the whole reason why I'm partnered with them is I want to be able to help more moms know that, hey, listen, if you have a colicky, fussy baby, just have this on hand. Trust me, like, it's going to help you. Like, just go grab yourself some Lyme baby probiotic.
I think it's such an important topic right now, and we should all be talking to our kids.
We really should. Education is key during this time, and continuing to learn, which I think is so important. Something else we learned during that conversation is something that she wished she knew before having a baby. What is one thing that you wish you knew before having a baby?
Oh gosh, there's so many
so
things.
Much.
You know what I feel like no one prepared me for? I don't think anyone prepared me for like the sleep deprivation and how it can like mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've heard, yes, you're never going to sleep again once you have a baby. But even now, my kids are grown up and I do not sleep the way I used to sleep. Like, every little thing gets me up. I feel like it totally destroys your sleep pattern forever. I mean, until maybe they go off to college and I'm, but then I'll be worrying about them anyway. So I probably won't sleep about that. But yeah, I mean, that is one thing that no one prepared me for. Like, you will go cuckoo by not sleeping.
You really do. It's so funny that you mentioned that because my daughter, she's been sleeping through the night for a few months now, but now it's my husband that keeps me up all night because he constantly is looking at the monitor. He'll like wake up and like look over me like, what's she doing? I'm like, she's sleeping. Leave me alone. I'm like, first it was the baby, now it's you. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have my husband snoring. That's another like issue down the road. I'm like, when did you start snoring? Because you didn't when, 5 years ago. I don't know why now you're starting to snore when everyone is sleeping through the night.
No, totally. But I mean, for me, I think something that like I wasn't prepared for was how, I mean, you hear this all the time, but how hard breastfeeding is in the beginning. Like, it is, I mean, harder than birth, I think, at times, because like I wasn't like emotionally prepared for it either. I just didn't know how draining it was going to be and how hard it was going to be, but also how rewarding it is at the end. But it's hard.
Oh yeah, no one prepared me for that either. I had, a lactation consultant come when my son was born. I mean, I will say as the second and the third one came along, things were a lot easier, but you're absolutely right. Like, I was not prepared. And then they were saying you didn't make enough milk and you have to supplement. And I was like, how do you do all this? Like, that is something that I wasn't prepared for. But I feel like now it's a little bit more talked about. But yeah, that was definitely a surprise for me too.
Definitely a surprise. Not easy, but rewarding, you like you said at the end. All right, let's move on to Hilaria Baldwin. So she is our celeb mom of the week. Now, for one, she has 4 kids and another one on the way. No big deal. She's continuing with her pregnancy workouts, and she is, a total badass when it comes to pregnancy workouts. She works out throughout her entire pregnancy. She's fantastic. And 2, she kept it real on Instagram when she was asked by her 6-year-old daughter how babies are made. So this was pretty funny. She said, Carmen is super fascinated with how babies are made. I used to be able to get out of getting into too much by asking her what she thinks. Then she would lose interest. Now she is very much asking for a straightforward answer. Now we're going to bring in someone who has some kids of his own to chime in on this, and that is Cameron Mathison. So Cameron, Brianne and I were actually just chatting before we started. about the right time to talk to your kids about the birds and the bees.
Okay.
What do you think about that? What's your perspective on that?
Here we go. Here we go. Honestly, it's tricky because I think in a way, this is my opinion only, obviously. In a way, it's very age dependent on what you tell them. So from my perspective, I try to always be honest. So I try to give a little bit of truth. You know, when my kids were younger, my daughter asked, my son didn't, but when she was like, I think 3, she asked about it. And so I would include things like, babies come from the hospital. So we get the babies from the hospital, hospitals involved, and we talk about, and I keep it truthful. I just don't give the whole truth. So I don't know how, And then when she was a little bit older, it came up again, maybe before 5, maybe 5 or so, came up again. And we talked about a seed and an egg, and it, the baby grows inside, and I gave more truth to the picture. And then, so maybe I'm avoiding your question. But when it really comes to like going through the ins and outs of it, I would say that, maybe around like 6 or 7,
Mm-hmm.
and we used the book. That was helpful to use the book Where I Come From, I think is the name of it. Mm-hmm. And so that's my take, and if it seemed like they were ready, my son was ready. It seemed like they were interested and they were open to like learning about it. And at that point, so I think usually, 6 to 8 years old or something like that is when we brought out the old Where Do I Come From book, and then you kind of get the full picture, the whole truth.
Right.
What do you guys think? Did I pass? Like, where do I fall in the parenting guidelines here?
No, I mean, I feel like I'm kind of I feel like my son was probably like 8 or 9.
Okay.
And then like around that time when he officially found out, and also they learn in school. They learn things in school. So we had to officially say it. But I always used to say that the babies came from storks. So I kind of lied a little bit.
Oh, you did. Well, it's like Santa Claus. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Santa Claus is real for those that are listening.
For the little ones, for me.
I'm just saying, like, for some people, some people think that Santa Claus isn't real and they think it's a big farce.
Yeah.
Well, we are so excited to talk to you today, and I have to wish you an early Happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I am, I don't know, nothing's bigger to me than being a dad. Nothing's more important. Nothing's more meaningful. I mean, you guys know what it's like to be a parent, so I'm thrilled. And this one in particular is pretty special for me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that, but how are you planning on celebrating this year?
Well, there's going to be some golf involved.
Nice.
I'm the only golfer in the family, so I'm going to get up early before everybody wakes up, and I'm going to go sneak in a quick round, and then come home, and we're going to have maybe go for a little hike in the area, and then like a grill, pool day, and then my son actually he's got a part-time job. He works at a local golf course, and then so he'll go there, and then my daughter, my wife, and I will go play while he's working, just to kind of wrap it up.
And I know that this Father's Day is extra special for you because, you just beat cancer. Congratulations. That's amazing. We're so excited. But, how did that change your perspective of being a father?
It actually was everything. Like, I got the phone call. I don't want to get it's weird how you have this sense, memory, emotions that come up. But I got the phone call from my doctor, and immediately the first thing before I thought of my wife and everything is you think about your kids. Like, immediately I thought about being a dad and not being there for them and not being ready for this, in any capacity. I didn't know the severity of it. I just knew that I had kidney cancer, and I didn't want to forget that. So to your point, to your question, it's like in the moment, if I didn't let this make me a better dad, and I feel like I've been very hands-on and a very I don't want to say a good dad, but I really believe that I'm a good dad. But if I didn't allow this journey that I've been on to make me more mindful, more present, to enjoy the moment more, to get more out of every moment I can with my kids, then I missed a big opportunity. Because this has been a challenging time, for the last 8-9 months now, 10 months. But in a way, to use that to transform it. Luckily, like you say, I've come out the other side of this. I'm cancer-free now. I just got my CT scan recently, like a week ago. But it really has made me appreciate the little things even more. And I always tried to do that already, but it definitely amped it up for me. And so this Father's Day, I mean, I didn't know when I got the phone call if there'd be another Father's Day. I just didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. And so it's Father's Day and we're doing stuff for me, but really, like there's going to be One Direction playing on the golf cart for my daughter. Like I want them to have a good time. You know what I'm trying to say? That may not be my music of choice, but I know she's going to love, so it's Father's Day, but at the same time, seeing them happy is the ultimate gift.
Yeah. You mean you're not a big Harry Styles fan?
Oh my, she cannot stop talking about Harry Styles. It is unbelievable. You guys have to help me. I mean, you have some in with these guys. Like, what do I do about this? I literally, all of her texts have photos of him. I'm like, hey, what do you want for dinner? And it's like a picture of Harry Styles comes back with like, oh, I'll have spaghetti and meatballs. And it's like a GIF with him. And I'm like,
that's so funny.
I know that you are, you mentioned handwritten cards and you are working with Hallmark to kind of make this Father's Day a little extra special. So tell me all about that.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's such a good fit for me. Like I mentioned, like handwritten Hallmark card is everything in the world to me. So yeah, partner up with Hallmark. It's a great fit just to help people come up with some great gifts for the dads in their lives. So I've got a few that I'd love to show you guys if we got a second. Can I share a couple?
Yeah, I want to see.
So these will all be at hallmark.com. You can go to my Instagram as well, and I have like a gift guide there. But I want to for us dads, we get a handwritten Hallmark card and it stays on our fireplace for a long time. It stays on the shelf. So I'm just showing you an example of the one that I'm going to send to my dad actually very quickly because I got to get it there. But this one's called Stars and Pennants. And it's a beautiful card. It's a showpiece. And I know him. He's going to get all teary. He's going to put it on his fireplace. And it's going to mean more to him than anything in the world. And the sentiment inside is so perfect because sometimes I'm not the best with words. So they help out a lot. And he's also a big golfer, as I mentioned, as we talked about. It's like our tradition on Father's Day is to kind of include golf. But he runs out of the house. I mean, if you had the visual of this, he runs out of the house spilling coffee all over himself and stuff. So I got him this. Best parent ever, a little coffee tumbler.
Love it.
With a golf cart, so he's not making a mess of himself. This is a great one too. And I'm, here I am. My kids are teenagers. Obviously, my dad's a little older. But the new parent, the new dad out there, it really needs to be celebrated because I flash back and I think about my times as a new dad and how hands-on I was and getting the babies to go down and get them in the crib. And so I saw these at home. I was a little selfish with my first couple of gifts that you'll see, but I saw these. These are for the new dad out there. Baby down, feet up. And this is, by the way, great for moms too. Don't get me wrong. Cool. Believe me, I know. But for Father's Day, baby down, feet up socks, I thought was really cute too. And I got a whole bunch of other things too. Great for workouts, great for camping, great for stuff that dads love at the gift guide, so you can check it out.
A lot of people right now, a lot of parents right now are having, some very tough conversations with their kids, everything going on with everything with the tragedy with George Floyd, with protests, with racism. How are you approaching that with your children?
We try to get them involved, try to keep the conversation loud and alive. My wife is Mexican Filipino. My kids are obviously as well. And, I being a white man in this business, in this world, I just feel like it's so important for, both sides to be involved, to get your voice out there, social media, going to protests, and, in a sense, learning so much. I mean, even, my wife grew up in a very white area of California and experienced a lot of racism and prejudice, and has in many ways educated me and educated the kids and got us involved and got the conversation going daily. Getting them to have a voice on social media, and like I mentioned, also being part of protests. They love it. They love, obviously we're, being careful, being safe, but trying to get them involved. And I think it's it's a good thing to do as a family for sure.
Definitely.
Super important.
And then, a lot of people, clap back on social media. It's not that, people got a lot to say. I know, Brianne, I'm sure you probably deal with this sometimes as well. People have a lot to say on social media. We recently saw Todd Chrisley. I'm sure you know him. Somebody criticized his biracial daughter, saying that being biracial screws up your kids. Well, he responded saying ignorance and hate screws up your kids, which I'm sure. Have you ever had to deal with anybody, clapping back at you for your parenting choices or anything like that?
It's a great question, and I did see that, and I thought he handled it so well and so eloquently. And I wonder when I read beautiful responses like that, whether it would take him as long as it would have taken me to write that so beautiful. Like I read that and I'm like, that's so good. That would take me like half an hour to get up perfectly to word like that. So way to go to point that out. And I've dealt, again, it's a little tricky being, like a white man in this business to be responding to this, but I've posted about this and I've lost lots of followers on social media, which breaks my heart a little bit. Not because I've lost followers, but because people will unfollow somebody because of something like this. With respect to my kids and my wife being in an interracial marriage, we've had situations where, I've made very clear, I play a lot of golf, and sometimes my wife would come to me to the golf, not any golf club in California, but previous, and people would think that she was staff, that she worked there, things like that, like a lot. Bringing friends, we brought a family, African-American family that are friends, and their kids experiencing, that right in front of us. Like it's so eye-opening. And again, I'm humbled and constantly learning all the time, and just to give a little tiny insight into this, but it's about time.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your Father's Day, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, have a great Father's Day. Enjoy.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Hope you do really well on the golf course.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of Father's Day, we both have some last minute gifts for the fathers in our lives. I know for me, I haven't bought anything, so this will definitely give me some ideas. So Brian, why don't you kick us off?
Yes, I was actually prepared this year because my husband is going to be away on Father's Day. So we actually had to celebrate this past weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I was super prepared and actually got all my stuff in order before then. So first I'm going to show you, it's super big, but it's amazing. And it's sort of a gift to me too. This is from Minted. It's a SNAPSHOT photo. So I basically took all of our photos off of Instagram and kind of made this like picture frame for him, and we can hang it in the house. And I just thought that was a really cute gift, and he absolutely loved it.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Yeah, because it's not only a gift for him, it's kind of a gift for you too, and for your home. And I feel like it's just, it's a mix of all of our travels from like last year, and it's just a nice thing to finally print out photos that we never do these days, right?
Well, speaking of that actually takes us perfectly into the gift that I want to show you. So this is KODAK'S Smile Instant Digital Printer. So it instantly prints out your photos in, less than a minute. It's super quick, and then it's all connected through Bluetooth from your phone to your printer. So you can have an instant gift for your dad or your husband.
I love that.
That's great. I know, I love it. What else do you have?
I have EKSTER. It is a smart wallet. So here you just press a button and all your cards pop up.
Oh, wow. So oh, God, that's so cool.
Yeah. So all the cards will pop up, and then you can figure out which one. And it's super thin, which I love, because who's carrying around a bulky wallet these days? So I love that it's super slim and it can fit right into his pocket, and it has a little clip here too that you can like store your cash in there. And he absolutely loved this. This is another really cool gift.
All right, so I have a couple subscription boxes for Dad from CRATEJOY, which, I love a good subscription box. I love these.
Me too. I'm all about it.
So the first one is the Grill Masters Club. So this comes with some wood chips for like a smoker, which is really cool.
Very cool.
It comes with some barbecue sauce, some smoke rub, which is cool, and some salsa, which is nice. And then to go along with that, they also have a cocktail club.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I love this.
This is really cute. It is their tequila box. So a couple of Casamigos tequila, so you can feel like George Clooney. Some mango jalapeno cocktail mixer, and a spiked seltzer. So this is super cute.
I love that.
I know, right?
Both of them make great gifts. That
they
is
really
amazing.
do. And like you said, subscription boxes are always great because you never know what you're going to get, and makes it easy.
For sure. And you get to send it to them if you're not seeing them during quarantine, especially. So that makes a great, great, great gift.
It does. It does. All of these were super fun ideas. And We want to just wish a very happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. And thank you everyone for tuning in to our very first episode of Moms Like Us. Brianne, this was an absolute pleasure.
Yes, I'm so excited. So much fun to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
And make sure to check back every Thursday for all new episodes of Moms Like Us. In the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.